Coming to you live from a cloudy day here in California, Los Angeles. We're live and alive, and I hope all the boys, girls, and MBs are having a fantastic one because today's a beautiful day. I have a very important announcement. I've finally done it. I watched Ethan Klein's Content Nuke, and I'm not going to call it Context Puke as I normally do because
He did.
The reality of the matter is it was brilliant. Nothing was out of context. Everything was correct. I am an Islamist, fundamentalist, radical terrorist. I am a vicious anti-Semite. It's true. Most importantly, Ethan is more attractive than me, both physically and also mentally. I've been lying about everything, including my glasses. They're fake. He was right about that. That's not even in the Content Nuke. And he was right about that too. How did he know everything? How? Wake up, Ethan. Wake up, Ethan. Ethan, wake up.
Wakey, wakey, Ethan. Wake up, Ethan. Wake up.
Oh.
Time to be awake, Ethan.
Wake up, Ethan.
This is no longer a dream. This is a nightmare. Wake up.
Ethan, the dumb bitch is telling you to wake up.
Wake up.
Ethan, wake up.
Wake up, Ethan.
Ethan, wake up.
Wake up.
Since anyone?
Just wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up. Wake up, Ethan.
I'm not going to do a react content yet, chat.
I'm listening. Nobody's telling you to wake up, Ethan.
Yummy, I
Did
love
they make fake chats for this?
We are exiles
Because
no
I assume
longer.
they recorded this off
Our
stream,
vengeance
right?
is yours.
So the chat had to
Our
be
will
fake?
shall
Okay, that's
be
what I thought.
done.
Because I was just curious. Okay.
Stop, Ramos.
Time to wake up, Ethan. Wake up.
Ethan.
Wake up, Ethan.
What needs revealing? All shall be revealed.
Just wake up.
Yeah, this is worse than I thought it was going to be. I think that it was definitely a huge credibility error.
Not
Like,
enough
I
crystal.
didn't know. But I think that, like, when you're assigning yourself, like, he could have gone on
Your presence
and made
is
this
strong.
video and
A
say Ethan's a
colonizable
fucking
planet has
idiot
been discovered.
and all these
The
things that he
fleet
did are
embraces new
bad and
vessels.
Ethan's awful,
The anima are
etc.
restless.
You didn't need to
Control
go
who
and do the
created.
conga dance with Frogan to make that happen. This is such a
Our
huge
will shall
unforced
be
error.
done.
You did not need to do this.
Civilian structure
All it does
complete.
is it pollutes the video that you're doing because like Frogan, Denims, Sean, Hassan all have their own little dramas, right? They have their own little problems, their own little dramas. And because of that, now
Our
you are,
vengeance is
if you're doing
yours.
this with them, basically approving this. And I forgot who said this, but somebody said that this is the kind of stuff that iDubbbz used to probably make. iDubbbz would have
research
made
do
a
you
content
complete?
cop about
What
this
needs
content
revealing?
cop 10 years
Unity
ago.
be my guide.
I never really
Your
watched a lot of
presence is
these in the
strong.
past. I saw like maybe half of one of them, but it sure seems like that's the case.
All power to jump drive.
A
XQC
colonizable
said that?
planet
Yeah.
has been discovered.
You didn't need to do that. And I think that like basically he effectively poisoned the well for his entire video
vengeance
by taking a
is
side
yours.
with a bunch of content creators that are
Any last
overwhelmingly hated
words?
by the internet. Like Hassan has a really big fan base, so at
Planet
least that
item
one
ready.
kind of makes sense. But Frogan, Sean,
Our
and
forces have
Denims,
engaged
everybody
the
hates
enemy.
them. Like for every one person that likes them, there's 100 people that hate them. Huge mistake to put yourself on their side. And you didn't need to do that to criticize Ethan. Anyway,
Harmony research complete.
nice.
All right.
Our
I
will
didn't plan
shall
on
be
making
done.
a content cop on H3. It sounds very stupid even saying that. H3 content cop, iDubbbz. Ethan Klein's out of control. And then you should do a content cop on Hassan Piker.
Oh.
Content cop on Sargon of Akkad. If I would imagine this
What about me?
in 2016, I would have been like, oh yeah, if I ever do that, it's gotta be because I lose the plot. Well, it turns out it's not me.
A colonizable planet has been discovered. Another planet joins the Unity.
Your presence is strong. We'll
Losing the
consider
plot.
it.
It's Ethan.
Harmony
He's the one
research, dear,
who fucking
complete.
attacked first.
My good fucking friends who I
Harmony
stood by
research
after all these
complete.
fucking years can't find a spine to speak up.
So go fuck yourself.
I agree.
All right, guys, I'm going to tell you a story about Ethan.
Were they talking about iDubbbz? I don't even know. Also, like, Ethan can't expect
The anima
everybody
are
to go
restless.
out and defend him. I think that's true. Like, you can't
Glory
expect
to the
other people to
unity!
fight your battles.
Our forces have engaged
Sure.
the
Fine.
enemy.
I know some of you have been following him, but there's a lot of people who might not be familiar with the background, with his
Uh-oh.
podcast, with what's been going on over the past couple of years.
I've seen that.
So
Last
Ethan, as you know,
chance
is a
to
content
surrender.
creator who has a
Beg for our
podcast where he
forgiveness.
says all sorts of outrageous
Last
stuff.
chance
Sometimes
to
it's fun,
surrender.
sometimes it's fucked
Commerce
up.
upgrade
He's
complete.
had
Sure.
shows with all
Any
sorts of
last
different
words?
controversial characters. He's had a
Harmony
show
research
with
complete.
Trisha Paytas.
Any
He's had a
last
show with
words?
Hassan Piker.
Beg
Yep.
for our
Doing so,
forgiveness.
he's gathered a ton
Any
of
last
different
words?
audiences. Now, in his
Your
podcast
presence
with
is
Hassan,
strong.
Leftovers, they would mostly talk about surface level progressive shit and
Yeah,
make
sure.
fun
We'll
of right
consider
wingers.
it.
And you're telling me he didn't flick their dick once at least?
Oh, that's 100 shavers.
anima
You
are
trans women. I
restless.
say, oh no!
A
And it was
colonizable
mostly
planet
that
has been
until
discovered.
they actually had
What lies
to
before
reckon
us?
with a very
With one
serious
voice.
topic. I would say that Hassan was very well equipped to talk about that topic.
Palestinian people living in the West Bank are subject to these horrific conditions, horrific living conditions by the state of Israel, America's greatest ally and the only democracy in the Middle East, if you ask Republicans and even liberals.
Well, the dancing invented was so kick-ass.
Israeli settlers are trying to evict Palestinian families in
Our
occupied
vengeance
East
is
Jerusalem.
yours.
The United Nations says that may be a
We
war
are
crime. It
listening.
literally is.
Was just eating the toppings, and the pizza looked like a burn victim. It was all disgusting.
I don't know if you can make that
The
joke in
anima are
2021.
restless.
Why?
It's insensitive to burn
I think it's a good analogy.
Uh-oh.
It's a powerful image.
Ethan was not prepared for
Harmony
this.
research
Ethan, the whole
complete.
time, is more
I don't think that you need to be a political analyst
We are
to
listening.
look at what happened on October 7th and say that it was bad
Our
and the people that
vengeance
did
is
it are bad.
yours.
Like, I actually think that this point kind of in a lot of ways works against Hassan. Is that
Last
if
chance
you're
to
spending this much
surrender.
time understanding
colonizable
the
planet has been
dichotomy of this
discovered.
and like all
Any
the
last
nuance,
words?
how do you still come out on the side talking about how the prisoners liked Hamas because they were kissing them? Like, if you're this intimately informed about it, how do you come out with that conclusion? So I don't understand that. Of
Harmony
course
research
not, right? Of
complete.
fucking course not.
Another planet joins
of
the Unity.
the goof guy. And that's fine. You know, we don't expect Ethan
presence
to
is
be
strong.
an expert
But
on
like,
the
how
topic.
is it that the
consider it.
goof guy can see
Planet
that there's
item
something that's
ready.
clearly wrong here, but Hassan's not able to? I think he can. Like, I'm again, like, I'm not a big fan of Israel, but I'm not a big fan of Hamas either. And I think, by the way, that's the way a lot of people feel. Like, I think that 80% of people think, I don't know, I'm making up, to be fair, I'm making up a number, but I think that a huge amount of people feel like, yes, obviously Israel is bad, but also so are Hamas. Like, both of
Your
these groups are
presence is
bad.
strong.
I think that
A
there's a growing
colonizable
American
planet has been
sentiment that why
discovered.
are we funding Israel when it seems like Israel is engaging in aggressive military action. I think that there's a lot of people that feel that way.
Your
You
presence is
don't have to
strong.
be on one side. You can
The
have
anima
a
are
measured
restless.
opinion on this that's
Our will
reasonable.
shall be
And I think
done.
that it
Mining
goes to
upgrade
show that all
complete.
of these people that are so politically minded are so
Our
radicalized
vengeance
in one
is
direction.
yours.
I think that actually goes to show
Forgiveness.
how much of a rot that
Harmony
this is.
research complete.
Because when you approach this with a
Our
normal
forces have
person, a normal
engaged the
person is
enemy.
not going to look
Your
at a
presence
raid
is
on
strong.
innocent civilians
The
where they
anima
get
are
captured and
restless.
killed.
We'll consider it.
And there's no
Planet
other
item
side
ready.
to this to an average person. Average people don't
Your
see this
presence
as
is
like,
strong.
oh, well, it's justified, because
Last
it's just
chance
not.
to
It's not
surrender.
justified in any capacity at all. And I understand
lies before
Israel
us?
did things that are
the
bad.
unity.
And that's the same thing I was just saying. You're absolutely right. They're both bad. But you can't say because they did something bad that it's okay to target, kill, and kidnap civilians. This is By the way, am I do you guys feel the same way? Am I the only person? Because I
colonizable
feel like this is the
planet has been
common sense
discovered.
take to have.
Your presence is strong. Our will shall
This
be done.
is fucking obvious.
lies
This
before
is the
us?
do you like waffles
For
so you hate
unity.
pancakes? Exactly. Yes. You don't have to do this. You don't. This isn't. This was never necessary.
Harmony research complete.
This isn't even about iDubbbz
Your
perspective, but
presence is
like
strong.
my point is that I think that
Another
the framing
planet
of
joins
Ethan
the
as being
unity.
just like the funny,
The
stupid
anima
fat
are
guy.
restless.
I
Our
don't
will
think that it
shall
really
be
achieves
done.
the goal that he thinks it does. Personally.
Ethan was obviously caught in this tricky situation where he is extremely sympathetic to the Israeli cause and what's happening to them. His wife's
Mining
Israeli,
upgrade
he
complete.
served in the IDF. He obviously likes the state of Israel. On the other hand,
It's important to keep in mind
The
that
anima are
serving in the
restless.
IDF is a
Cry for
requirement
mercy.
in Israel. Like, I think that whenever you bring this up as an indicator of like determining whether a person is a fan of Israel
Your
or not,
presence is strong.
I think that it's disingenuous not to contextualize it for average people, because many people don't know this, but there is mandatory
Our
IDF,
forces
Israeli
have
Defense
engaged
Force
the enemy.
service for both men
The
and
anima are
women who are
restless.
Israeli citizens.
Glory
It's
to the
3 years
unity.
for men and 2 years for women. So this is like criticizing a person in America for signing up for the draft.
A colonizable planet has been
Finland does it
discovered.
too. Yeah, it's quite
What
common
lies
in multiple
before us?
countries.
With one
he's just got
voice.
done capturing a massive progressive audience who are very politically
How is he
Your
savvy.
presence is strong.
Well, the reason why I think it's
Cry
important
for
to say that
mercy.
is because
Commerce
to say
upgrade
that a person
complete.
served in the army without contextualizing it around it being mandatory service, I think gives the impression that a person served in the army because they supported the army, which is not always true. And so I think it's misleading.
They follow Hassan. Hassan is strictly a political streamer, so this is something they're very.
No, he's not. He's played Assassin's Creed
Harmony
Shadows,
research complete.
and he played
Glory
Marvel
to the
Rivals.
unity.
That's not true.
Cry for mercy.
What lies
very
before us?
keyed into. So when they see Ethan say
Your
things
arguments are
that are just
compelling.
like not
I
accurate
shall
and
stand
it's
with
just
you.
propaganda, they're gonna call it out.
From the river to the sea essentially means the state of Israel
We
is
shall overcome.
going bye-bye.
For the unity.
So this massive progressive
Another
audience.
planet joins the
And
unity.
the thing is that
A
I talked to, I
colonizable
remember
planet
Hassan, I
has been
asked
discovered.
Hassan that myself
credits
because
are required.
you know, I looked at the map and it's like, well, how could Israel exist if you say from the river to the sea? And
Your presence
he
is
doesn't
strong.
feel like it's a genocidal thing. And it's hard to say. I mean, I think that some people say it with that in mind of getting rid of Israel. Maybe other people don't.
Commerce
It's a pretty
upgrade
sticky
complete.
subject, right? And I wouldn't go like I think it probably is. It's like one of these sayings that has a different meaning for different people, right? And this is, by the way, the most generous and the most like positive approach that I can have to it.
Ethan has, adopted over the years.
Mm-hmm.
They're becoming increasingly critical of his position because now he's talking about it not on Leftovers. He's now talking about it on his podcast.
What I want to do is show you guys how I see Israel, because you don't see that when you listen to Hassan and you hear all these fucking mega lefties talking about it like it's some super racist, crazy, like Jim Crow style of society. Like, I can't wait to show you guys.
The other day, BB fired a really good guy that a lot of people are
I
pissed.
think that Ethan
Civilian
probably shouldn't have
structure
gone super
complete.
hard on this and talk about the Israel-Palestine stuff unless he wanted to like super involve himself with it. Because, I mean, the reality is that
A colonizable
I
planet
mean, it's
has
not
been
really
discovered.
his war. He's
The
not. I
anima
mean, like,
are
I
restless.
think that it's important. Like, everybody should do what they want to do, but he didn't need to go this far, like defending Israel. He definitely didn't need to.
Logistics upgrade complete.
So Ethan is having this back and forth
Our
with his
vengeance
liberal
is
audience,
yours.
leftist
No,
people.
I understand. He lived there. His wife's Israeli, and he's Jewish. I understand that there's a degree of solidarity that he may
Victory
feel.
is at hand.
I'm just saying that I don't think that acting on that feeling was
Planet item
beneficial
ready.
for him.
online, progressive content creators, Hassan, all of these different
Harmony
people. He's
research
finding new
complete.
people every day,
Civilian
basically, to get
structure
fights
complete.
I'm very
with.
Of all
pragmatic.
people, this guy, Matt Lieb, Frogan and Denims and all these dipshits, and everybody thinks this guy's awesome, apparently.
I don't know.
Even though he looks like Millhouse, fucking dork. Denims, by the way, was the real villain of the video.
To be fair, he does look like Millhouse. I don't hate this guy. I don't even know this guy, but he does
Your
kind of look
presence
like
is
Millhouse.
strong.
He does. It's fucking funny.
Evil,
Cry
hateful,
for mercy.
fucking.
Yeah.
And I'll say it and I'll double down on it. And people, oh no, did I not go there.
And it's all culminated, at least for my story.
I think that there's a degree of this is criticism
Civilian
for
structure
Ethan.
complete.
Is that I think almost all of his negative moments came out of live streaming. And I think that
Civilian
we've seen
structure
this be a pretty
complete.
common thread with a lot of content creators that were on YouTube. And I think that you can look at it with Boogie as well too. Almost all of the Boogie crash outs and the Boogie bad
Where
moments
credits are
were
required.
actually live streams and not YouTube videos.
Commerce upgrade
And I think that
complete.
a lot of people that make content online aren't really familiar with like what the foundation is for building a career live streaming. And so they're not used to the idea that their extemporaneous train of thought that they're just having and talking could be recorded and held against them in the future because they're used to editing that part out. So yeah, I think that's a pretty big difference.
I will
And
deliver your
Ethan
order
burning
personally.
bridges with people
We shall
until
overcome.
he burned the
Sacrifice
bridge with
begun.
me. Since
The
Ethan and
unity's needs
Hassan's
have
falling
changed.
out, I've been
Your
keeping to
presence is
myself
strong.
mostly. I don't have many nice things to say. Maybe if Ethan's able to get some help, maybe if he stops harassing other creators, maybe if he does these things.
I think this is an unfair framing because other creators have also harassed Ethan. And I don't think that it's fair for people to say that Ethan has been harassing other creators when other creators have been hand-waving or in some cases passively encouraging
anima are restless.
people calling CPS on Ethan as well. I feel like this is a very
colonizable planet
one-sided
has been
thing.
discovered.
And
Harmony
like
research
I understand,
complete.
like, and I'm sure
Victory is
Ethan
at
has said
hand.
things that he shouldn't have said
Glory to the
towards
unity.
people like Frogan and Denham.
Cry
And I
for
think that's
mercy.
worthy of criticism.
Commerce upgrade
But
complete.
to frame it as
Our
if
will
it's
shall be
Ethan
done.
harassing them is, I
The
think,
shields are
unfair.
offline.
I think it's
Victory
very
is
much.
at
It's not a
hand.
harassment. This is a
Glory
fight.
to the unity. Victory
Eventually
is
he'll
at
find
hand.
peace and we
Beg
can
for our
like
forgiveness.
rekindle our friendship. So that's been my approach. I've occasionally thrown a joke Ethan's way in the form of Hassan Piker versus Ethan Klein for boxing.
I like iDubbbz. He's a good guy, but I don't like this tweet. It's stupid. It's not a fucking petty beef. It's like this guy is evil and he's doing anti-Semitism, and also he's way out of my weight class.
He didn't like that, but fucking.
Civilian
This
structure
is a situation
complete.
where, like, I like, it's obviously a joke, right? It's just a joke. I mean, it's not a big deal. I think
Civilian
Ethan taking
structure
this too
complete.
seriously.
Sometimes you gotta just throw something
Yeah,
out
it's just
there.
a joke. It's just a joke.
I used to work with this video editor named
A
Froggy
To be
colonizable
fair, I mean,
planet has
Hassan,
been
when
discovered.
people made a joke about him boxing Sam Hyde,
Mining upgrade
had a
complete.
very similar response.
I discovered him because he was in the circles online that I was in. And one of those circles is an H3 fan. He watched Ethan's content. He liked Ethan's content until he didn't like Ethan's content. There
Yeah.
would be an occasional froggy
happens.
tweet where I'd be like, I agree with that. You know, like I'm not going to endorse it. I'm not going to retweet it or like it.
Civilian
but fair
structure
enough.
complete.
I guess I just missed my old
Our
friend.
vengeance is yours.
Some
Our
wings,
will
two
shall be
bird,
done.
feathered, colored.
Now that brings
Harmony research complete.
us to February 20.
What I saw is that Ethan is very much prone to anxiety and stress, and having loads of people on his head was a lot. He didn't leave his room for self-questioning instead of going into instant defense mode and challenge too much of his belief and experience. Yeah, this kind of goes into what I was saying, is that I think that if Ethan never live streamed, I think that 95% of his problems would not exist.
Civilian structure
of
complete.
this year.
A
Now, my former
colonizable
editor of a
planet
year and
has
a
been
half ago
discovered.
did say
Mining
some
upgrade
truly
complete.
mean shit. He called Hila the C word.
How do you think more above all of us? Keep going. The Palestinians will hate Jews. You know that. You.
Said they're trying to kill their dog with cheddar cheese.
2 years before Ethan's dog death, some H3 fans was concerned, chronic vomiting, when Kelly Grant got shown by the viewers. I don't know.
Bunch of other
Hostility
shit, I'm sure.
research tier
Ethan, at
complete.
some
This is
point,
like this is the kind of stuff that like I hate this about the internet. Like people just get so personal and so invested. Like this is just, to me, it's just so caustic and negative and weird. I wish we could just go back to not dealing with this. It's so boring and so weird.
discovers that iDubbbz's former editor says this horrendous shit about him and Hila. But no one's asking the question,
I don't think that it's iDubbbz's fault that he's employing somebody that says something bad about somebody else. Like, for example, like my mods talk shit about me. I don't care what the fuck they say. They can say whatever the hell they want. I don't own them. Who cares?
Our vengeance is
Yeah,
yours.
I mean, that's not Ian's
colonizable
fault.
planet
Ian
has
didn't
been
do
discovered.
that.
does Ethan get this
Hostility
information
research
from?
complete.
You see, it would be very
Any last
obviously
words?
a problem if Ethan was discovering this content by scrolling through Twitter looking for something to upset himself with. He has maybe set it up in such a way where his employees feel the need to send him this information. And that would be horrible.
Civilian
They
structure
shouldn't be
complete.
doing that. They should be sending you things that are entertaining for your
consider
show
it.
that don't fucking trigger the hell out of you. Why is there so much work being put
I don't know
into
about that.
Harmony research
discovering this guy
complete.
on Twitter
Our
who's barely
Endurian
getting
supply
any
is
interaction,
deficient.
linking him to me and posting on the Reddit when there's no work being put into who the fuck is the person?
This is not even Ethan. What I thought this video was about Ethan. Who cares? Icarus drowned? Who gives a fuck about Icarus drowned? It's
vengeance
some
is
random
yours.
Redditor. Why are we looking at a random Reddit post complaining about your editor? Like, who cares? Why does anybody care about this?
On the Reddit who's posting this in the first
Planet
place.
item
If you do a
ready.
little bit of research,
Hostility
it seems like it's an
research
account
complete.
whose intention
I will
is to
deliver
make
your
Ethan
order
crash
personally.
out. One of the users on the Snark Reddit points this out. They're like, I've seen this account before. This account has scraped its history, and it's now trying to make Ethan burn bridges. This is within
Harmony
Ethan's own
research
community.
complete.
This is so stupid. This whole thing is so stupid to me. Oh my god. How did we get here? It seems ironic, but, you know, considering the events of today, but Destiny was right. It was so much better when people just said the N-word. When Ian was just calling people the N-word and doing these content cops. It was so much better.
Like, this is the thing that he needs to be critical of. It's
A
not me.
colonizable
So
planet
yes, I
has
am
been
willing
discovered.
to admit that my former editor was being very nasty, uncharitable,
Who cares?
and fucked up
It's
towards
not
Ethan and
you.
Hila on Twitter. But
It's not your responsibility.
Ethan and Hila are doing the same shit on their podcast. So I don't want to fucking hear it.
Terrorist supporter.
The CEO of Twitch.
Pedophile.
Hassan
Hostility
said that he
research tier
supported a
complete.
guy that was a
Our vengeance is
self-proclaimed
yours.
member of the Houthis, and
Hostility
Houthis
research
are
complete.
designated as a terrorist organization. He said, "We support you." This is an objective fact. There's not any debate to this. You can just look at the video. Really, like, I think calling Dan
Harmony
Clancy a
research
pedophile
complete.
is totally
All power
overboard.
to
Ethan
Jump
should
Drive.
not have said that. That's outrageous. Again, I think that, like, you know, the same way I'm criticizing Ethan right now is the same thing I said about
Civilian
Hassan
structure
earlier.
complete.
You don't make accusations like
colonizable
that
planet
unless you
has been
have
discovered.
concrete proof. He should have never said that.
Our
Ethan should have never
Endurian
said
supply
that.
is deficient.
He said it was a joke. Maybe it was, but I'm just saying that, you know, that's it.
Now I'm going to watch and respond to the two podcast streams where Ethan and Hila
We'll
call us
consider it.
spineless cowards.
Our forces
Anyway,
have
this guy was
engaged
saying
the
shit like
enemy.
that Hila's a Nazi, that she kills kids, that she went on like she's like a IDF baby killer, all this types of shit, and that's showing up right
Your
up on
presence
us
is
Nisa's and
strong.
iDubbbz's feed. My good fucking friends who I stood by after all these fucking years can't find a spine to speak up. You know why? Because they'll get
Another
murdered.
planet joins
You don't
the
know
unity.
what's on my feed. What the fuck is...
I actually agree with iDubbbz. I agree with Ian here. I think that it's unfair for Ethan to expect iDubbbz to go out of his way to fight for Ethan. And I know Ethan feels like he's being personally attacked, but I don't think that that's fair to like get mad at somebody for not enlisting themselves in your defense.
Is happening? For all you know, I only use the For You tab. For all you know, I only use lists. For all you know, I'm seeing these things tweeted out by my editor of a year and a half ago.
Well, it's weird. Like, I mean, am I the only person that like? I mean, I follow Nick Fuentes. I follow Bernie Sanders. I follow AOC. I follow Sam Hyde. I follow tons of people on social media. Why? To keep up with what they're doing, because I think that they're interesting and they're persuasive, and I think that they're impactful in the current discourse. Yeah, that's the reason why. Am I the only person that's like this? I feel like a lot of you guys are probably like this, right?
You've made a fine purchase.
Yeah,
no refunds.
Do you follow Joe Rogan? Yeah, I follow Joe Rogan. Sure. Follow Hassan too. I don't know. I don't even think this is a big. It's just like this is, bro. This is like high school girl stuff. Like you're following somebody. This is like I remember in like middle school and high school. It was like, you know, top 8 MySpace stuff. Like it's just it's so
to jump drive.
It's just so
Commerce upgrade complete.
It's
planet item ready.
It's just
our Endurium supply is deficient.
Insane. God, that is nasty. I'm just not gonna throw someone away because they're having a parasocial weird moment. Just like I'm not gonna throw Ethan Klein away because he's having a parasocial weird crash.
How many women I fucked? Hassan, by the way, thousands. Yeah, thousands. Let me ask Galia. These shoes do not go. I'm sorry. Oh my God. Hassan's the type of dude who watches himself in the mirror when he has sex.
Watching me on a 30-second delay on your stream.
Wait, that's what wait, how does he know I'm watching already?
Because you've been talking about it for the last 5 minutes.
It's not a fucking petty beef. It's like...
Exotics have been unveiled by our scryers.
As an outsider, but still somebody who knows the people involved, to watch Destiny, Ethan, and Hassan go at it, and like they're talking about each other and watching each other, and like getting mad at each other, and then simultaneously saying that they're not watching each other. It's so fucking funny.
This ought to shake things up.
It is.
Mining upgrade complete.
Stupid. Like when Destiny pulled up Hassan's stream. And Hassan was like immediately talking about Destiny.
Say. Range locked in.
I'm sorry, it's fucking ridiculous.
This ought to shake things up.
Your presence
this guy is evil and he's doing anti-Semitism. These shoes do not go.
Where's the target?
There are many people, I'm sure, who have unfollowed you for the things that you have said and done. And I'm sure there are even more people who have stayed following you because they don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. They don't want to throw someone away because they've had some hard moments. We're all fucking human.
My good fucking friends who I stood by after all these fucking years can't find a spine to speak up. You know why? Because they'll get murdered.
And what you're saying to me is that I'm a bad friend and I'm a piece of shit. I'm spineless. I'm cowardly because I am following someone on Twitter.
Because they have
I agree with Ian here. I do, actually. I think that Ethan is crashing out and he's getting overly defensive and he's putting too much imposition on Ian. I do. I agree with him. Like I've been attacked a lot on social media, and I've never cause Ethan gets attacked a lot. Every single day almost. There's another thread that has 100,000 likes and millions of views that's about me. People are always talking about me. I've even told my friends, I said, guys, you don't need to defend me. You don't need to say anything about me. We're boys. I know what it's like to be in the trenches. You don't. Stay out of the trenches.
Yours.
That's how
Your presence is strong.
People can have opinions. Yeah, exactly. I can think Ian's being a little bitch with the video. I just think it's being honest, right? The other day I pointed out, I'm a Nazi because you follow me, but only sees you follow me because he follows you. Yeah, of course. There you go. Imagine when your boys leave the trenches. Yeah, people just don't want to deal with that, right? I mean, like, that's it.
Exotics have been unveiled by our
I don't know.
scryers.
Like, I fight my own battles. That's
Exotics
it.
have
I don't
been
need anybody to
unveiled
fight
by
for
our
me or push
scryers.
for me or anything like
The
that. Especially
anima
now
are
that we're creators.
restless.
I know.
Our
I
will
know how
shall
it
be
is.
done.
I know
Our
people can't deal with that.
vengeance
It's
is
okay.
yours.
Mobilized such an insane harassment group. It's not bad enough that I have this group of people harassing me and everyone in my life. It's that people outside of this group, journalists, creators, are actively participating in this gaslighting to make it seem like I'm fucking crazy.
I mean, I don't know what he's getting at here. Like, yeah, people are gaslighting you. A lot of people gaslit me when I apologized. That was actually like the #1 type of harassment.
I do think that it is a little bit problematic that there does seem to be a lot of journalists that do glaze Hassan, and it does seem like the way that they treat him is inauthentic, and it's like too much fanboy or like fangirly, like for sure. And I think it looks very insincere.
Call the shot.
Was people gaslighting me and taking my newfound woke ideology to its extreme.
I probably done and stood by iDubbbz and Anissa more than anybody. I've stood by them when all the internet hated them.
I don't like that Ethan brought this up because it makes the relationship feel very transactional.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we're just meant to support each other online despite our own personal morals or principles.
But I'll say this, I don't think they're fucking any friends of mine. And certainly I don't think they're any fucking friends of mine based on the text conversation I had with them too.
I just think that, like, really, I mean, if you're having like an anxiety like or Tourette's thing with your hand, like, I think that's like what's going on here. I don't really know. I just think that this is the last time that you should be giving statements and talking about stuff like this. I've always found that when I'm in an emotional state and I'm in a situation where I'm stressed out, I never want to act on that and act when I'm in that state.
Talked about it. So I have nothing. I don't need any fucking halfway friends.
Stop immediately. I thought the text conversation that I had with him was very empathetic. I basically just said, like, I know you and Hila are experiencing a ton of harassment, and I essentially empathize with that, and I think there's something positive to get out of the conversation. But he refused to talk on the phone unless I was willing to publicly say something about my former editor and Denims. As much as you don't want halfway friends, I also don't want that kind of halfway.
I agree with Ian on this.
Commerce upgrade complete.
All power.
I can see where Ethan is coming from, and I can see why he's frustrated.
A colonizable
and I think that
planet has been
I don't think that his
discovered.
feelings are wrong, but I think that when those feelings come with an obligation of behavior by
We'll
another
consider
person,
it.
Planet
that
item ready.
imposition is unfair.
Any last words? Beg for our
I don't
forgiveness.
want someone who's going
Your
to give
presence
me
is
like an
strong.
ultimate.
Our will shall be done.
Oh.
Our forces have engaged the enemy.
We'll consider it.
Is it your first day?
Your influence
to have
is
a conversation.
undeniable.
How could you not say something when this
Our
is like,
vengeance
imagine like
is
one of you guys
yours.
is like, Hassan actually wants to go to Gaza so he can strangle Israeli babies or some shit like that. I'd be like, you imagine me not saying something.
You're trying to make a one-to-one comparison where there isn't one. This guy that I follow on Twitter is not in the same relationship as
continue
you
cooling
and
our
one of your
systems.
current employees
Our
who
vengeance
is
is
streaming with you.
yours.
I thought the person was an editor. I thought
We'll consider
Wait,
it.
I thought the person that he
Another
followed on
planet
Twitter was
joins
his
the
editor.
Unity.
Did I misunderstand this? It's an ex-editor. Okay, so they were both employees then, right? But it's just that this one currently isn't. Okay.
As you and one of your current employees who is streaming with you 3 days a week, 3 hours a day for the past 10 years. At one point during the stream,
The
Ethan
anima
and
are
Hila bring up
restless.
Adam McIntyre. Now, Adam does basically the same thing as my
Hostility
former editor.
research complete.
He's critical of
Call
Ethan and
the
Hila,
shot.
and he
Sounds
is
good.
sometimes uncharitable
Mining
and
upgrade
nasty
complete.
towards them.
Well,
You
this is,
got it.
I mean, like these
Planet item
comments here,
ready.
right?
Call the
Such
shot.
a crazy fucking
Sounds
woman.
good.
My God,
Harmony
Hila Klein is
research
very
complete.
dangerous and crooked
Our
woman.
forces have
I mean,
engaged
by the
the
way,
enemy. Our will
3,000
is
likes.
transcendent.
Or sorry, 3,000 views. Not even likes.
Victory is
Nobody
at hand.
cares. Nobody cared what this guy
Glory to
said.
the
It doesn't really matter. But at the same time, it's like, I mean, we're really getting,
Victory is
are
at
we really
hand.
getting bent out of shape about a tweet that has 3,000 likes? Who cares? It's just some random idiot. Like, I'm friends with tons of people that are friends with people that don't like me.
Our will shall be
I don't
done.
know. Like, maybe I went to, like, a working class, like, very super diverse, multiracial school. And so, like, to me, the idea of making sure that everybody that you know is congruent with everybody that you know that's congruent with everybody that you know, that's just, like, a very foreign concept to
The
me.
anima
I
are
just don't
restless.
really... I
We'll
don't think about
consider
things
it.
that way. And when I hear people that are, like, advocating
Sounds
and
good.
arguing by this kind of stuff,
Your
it
presence
just
is
is completely
strong.
out of left field to me. I
Mining
don't
upgrade
understand it.
complete.
Glory to the unity!
Planet item ready.
I am
Like,
McIntyre.
just
Cry
in
for
general, I'll just say
mercy.
it. The only people that I know that have tried to enforce things like that on me
The anima
are
are
mentally ill
restless.
women.
Our will shall
It
be
needs to
done.
just like disappear.
A
That guy is a
colonizable
piece of
planet
shit,
has
like
been
of the
discovered.
lowest order.
Hostility
I never even
research
stood by him
complete.
when he talked bad
Our
about Trisha having a
vengeance
kid
is
and called him like
yours.
the spawn of Satan. He was supposedly on
He
our.
shouldn't be saying that. He's a fucking asshole for saying that. Like, I mean, yeah, for sure. It's so weird saying that. It's a baby.
Side, I would never even co-sign that. I was
Well,
disgusted
actually,
by
it's
that
weird, yeah.
statement too. I remember
never
when
said
he
anything.
called her kid the spawn of Satan.
I never said anything.
And
like
I was
that.
supposed to be like cheering on, but I
Harmony
wasn't gonna
research
cheer that on.
complete.
That's
Why do we
disgusting.
forget that he called her children, which is something we would never
We
do, the
are
spawn of
ready.
Satan?
It's disgusting.
We
And then-
await your
Shit.
command.
It's that big of a thing because like I don't really know, like I don't know the guy because like he could be like halfway memeing.
Your
like,
presence
I just
is
don't know.
strong.
But like
Mining upgrade complete.
I just
Harmony research tier complete.
Last
It's just
chance
incredible who
to
ends up being
surrender.
the good guys
Any
in this
last
story.
words?
You know, it's really
Our
something.
will shall be
Unfortunately,
done.
they never made a statement. They never said that they disagree with his statements about Trisha's baby until it's useful. Like, what is it, 3 years
Another planet
later?
joins
Like, I
the
mean,
Unity.
you're talking about it like you were aware of it at the
made a
time,
fine
and that there was
purchase.
some amount of
No
pressure or
reforms.
enthusiasm for you to get down with that. And what it sounds like to me is that you did see it at the time, and you were like, ooh, I don't like that. And you didn't endorse it, and you didn't fuck with it.
it's just like holy fuck, man. Like really like. Bro, we're gonna play Lords of the Fallen after this.
With it.
I'm
It's almost like that is
so
a
focused
fucking
into shit.
identical situation to me.
Like,
It's just
I remember, like, there's been guild drama between teenagers that I've mitigated that's had more substance than this. Well, he said that, like, I wasn't on the top of the meter, but if you look at the logs, he was beating me because he was overhealing. And if you look at that, and do you remember how he got the helmet before me? Well, of course he's going to do more than I am because he got his set bonus and I don't have my set bonus. And so now I'm in a situation where he's laughing at me and he's linking me healing meters and I'm behind, but I'm behind because he made me behind because we had a healing assignment and he gave himself the healing assignment that's going to give him more healing effectively, and now he wants you to give him. And I'm just sitting
The
here,
anima are
bro.
restless.
And I'm just sitting here and I'm saying, oh my god. I need to start playing single player games again.
Incredible who ends up being the
Holy
good guys
fuck.
in this story.
Okay.
You know, it's really something.
So yeah, the reason I'm bringing this up is because they're trying to like paint themselves as the good guys, and they're saying like, yeah,
The
we
good guys.
Beg
I
for
always
our
hate this.
forgiveness.
I hate it.
Any
we
last
strongly
words?
disavow things that are said, even about our enemies. We are the most immoral
Any
people
last
on the internet.
Well, that's a lie because I am, number one. So obviously Ethan isn't
Our
because
will
I'm
shall
him.
be done.
But maybe Ethan is like maybe
Production
third
of the
or fourth.
item is complete.
Number one would be Asmongold. Number two would be Zach Rar. Maybe number three could be Ethan. I don't know. Probably
Unlike
not.
Ian and Anissa, who are fucking keeping to themselves. Also, why the fuck does Olivia get the pass?
What a fucking
We
asshole
are
putting you in
ready.
that position, Olivia. You're friends with him, and you don't have to say
Comms
anything. But like,
upgrade
what a
complete.
fucking piece of shit. What a bad
Hostility
friend to put
research
you in that
complete.
position just for some fucking clout. It gets people angry at you, like, oh, how can she be friends with him? Which is total bullshit. Okay, Olivia did not do anything, and
I want the pass. Do I have to be an employee to get that treatment? Because then you'll just see me as an ally? Or is it
This video
Exotics
seems
have
like
been
it should have been a
unveiled by
private
our
conversation.
scribes.
because
Planet
Ethan is
item ready.
afraid of
Your
wrongful
presence is
termination
strong.
accusations and lawsuits?
And also, I don't mind putting my friend Olivia, who's apparently my real friend, in a terribly weird, fucking uncomfortable situation where you end up getting hate for no reason.
This is
Also, don't frame
this is
it
a
as
lot
like
more personal than I thought it was going to be.
Harmony
other
research
people
complete.
making it hard on
I think that
Olivia.
the reason why a lot of people are not liking this video is because this isn't really a content cop on H3H3. This is drama between H3H3 and iDubbbz. Like for example, like the
Commerce
Leafy
upgrade
stuff
complete.
and like the Keemstar stuff back in the day. This was like a criticism of their content
You've made a wide.
specifically, right? Like in no point, like we're 18 minutes into the video now, has there been any criticism made of Ethan's actual content? This is purely a personal dispute between two creators,
Your
which is a
presence
very
is
big
strong.
difference than what the content cops used to be. Do you see kind of what I'm saying?
You're making it hard on all of these people. Please acknowledge your role in this whole fucking thing. Like, it's crazy
We'll
how warm
consider it.
Ethan is to
Beg
Olivia
for our
and saying how
forgiveness.
Olivia is essentially just a victim in this whole
Our
thing.
forces
It gets
have
people angry at
engaged
you,
the
like,
enemy.
oh, how can she be friends with him? Which is total
Exotics have been
bullshit.
But
unveiled
me
by
and
our
Anissa
scribes.
are spineless.
Our will
Ethan, your whole
is
system is
transcendent.
scrambled. My intention
Any
isn't to
last
throw the
words?
employees under the bus
Planet
like you
item
I don't
guys.
know
ready.
who Olivia is.
Hostility research complete.
I don't know. I'm sure it's one of their employees, I think.
Serve as the fucking foundation for calling out Ethan's hypocrisy on the whole subject. And I know that you guys have probably pushed back against Ethan over the years. How often are you supposed to do that? Do you have to do that every
colonizable
fucking
planet has
week?
been
It kind of
discovered.
seems like it. And that's exhausting.
Commerce
I don't
upgrade
want to
complete.
confront my boss. It's not my fucking job to confront my boss and say, today's segment on rapists and pedophiles on Twitch was not like my favorite segment to be a part of.
Yeah, friends like these.
Oh yeah.
I actually think that you can cultivate a relationship with employees that
Our
they
will
can
shall
communicate
be
that kind of
done.
stuff to you. And I think that
The anima
obviously
are
there's going to be a
restless.
degree of trepidation,
Exotics have been
but every
unveiled by our
good
scribes.
manager
We'll
and every
consider
good
it.
person inside of a leadership position
presence is
should
strong.
strive to create an environment
is at
where
hand.
employees and the people that work underneath you, management, yeah, that's a Pokemon actually, where they can just be direct and tell you, hey, we didn't like this. This was garbage.
Our
I think
will
it's super
shall be
important to
done.
have that. And if you don't have that, you're really, because like a lot of those people, those are in a lot of ways, like your biggest fans, and they're the biggest consumers of your content because they help you make it, right?
I will deliver your
Are
order
there good friends?
personally.
Yeah.
Anissa and
Mining
Ethan.
upgrade
Thanks, Anissa,
complete.
for standing up for your
We'll
girl.
consider it.
I actually stood up for you so many times, because, like, why
is
would
so
I not? It
personal.
was crazy.
Yeah,
Super
why would you
personal.
not? I mean, if that's truly what you believed and
Another
you weren't
planet
just going to
joins
use
the
it later.
Unity.
Of course I was going to stand by you. That's insane. It's absolutely insane and disgusting.
I think that Ian is right in calling out the seemingly transactional relationship that it seemed to him that Ethan and Gila had.
We await your
with
command.
Ian, that basically the transaction was, we're going to defend you, and so you have to defend us. I think that that's an unfair relationship because it's always asymmetrical. Like, but this is like, again, like I feel like this is couples therapy, right? Oh my God, who gives a fuck? Well, I mean, you know.
Hostility research complete.
But now you choose to hang out with people that would have a problem with you if you defended me.
I'm not going to assume that Hila knows, but I'll say it for anyone who doesn't know. Anissa is half
Logistics
Lebanese
upgrade
and half
complete.
Irish. For anyone unfamiliar, the Irish have been on the receiving end of a lot of oppression and genocide. On the part of the Lebanese, they've received a lot of oppression and attacks from the IDF.
Your presence
so
is strong.
Anissa is very well familiar with the propaganda and the shit coming out of
Harmony
Israel.
research complete.
Choosing now, out of all the times, to be like, please defend me. No, we're not gonna fucking defend you.
Rudy was saying that Palestinians are taught
I don't know.
We await your
at
command.
2 years old to
We
kill
are
Americans.
ready.
Do we have that one?
Man,
Like just the other day, BB fired
Your presence
a
is
really good guy
strong.
that a lot of people are pissed about.
He looked mean. I thought he was mean just because he looked mean.
no, it's not.
So yes, you caught us. We're not gonna run to your defense when I don't know.
Production
We
of the
follow
item is
people.
complete.
We be following. That's
Glory
one
to the
fucked up
unity.
thing that you can say about
Cry
Anissa and
for
I
mercy.
is when we're on Twitter, we do be following.
Beg for our
So-
forgiveness.
Okay, if you want to hang out with those people and have no spine
Any
and not
last
stand up for
words?
another girl that stood up for you, enjoy your new friends.
She's friends with people
Exotics
like
have been
Denims.
unveiled
I
by
know,
our scribes.
yeah.
Which I'll
She's
show.
friends with
Denims is
Denim.
actually participating in this whole Child Protective Service lie.
Yeah,
Which I'll
and if
show you
your
guys.
friend,
And he's right. He's right about this. Denims should not be saying that. Denims goes over the
Planet
line
item
with shit
ready.
that she says all the time. And if she was more popular, she would get way more in trouble. I don't know why she does that. I've never spoken
Civilian
to Denims
structure
privately
complete.
ever. I don't know what she's like. But one thing that I've noticed with a lot of these
Beg for our
people is that
forgiveness.
I bet if I talked with her, everything would be fine and there wouldn't be any issues. A lot of these people get on their computer, they get on the internet, they go on their stream, and they turn into psychos. And I've seen this happen like hundreds
Commerce
of
upgrade
times.
complete.
Literally, it's so common. Literally, you? No. Ask my friends that know me in real life. I'm an asshole off stream too. No, Well, I'm never an asshole to anybody, but I'm just a general asshole. I've never been rude, and I'll throw down the gauntlet.
Last chance
Anybody
to
who's
surrender.
ever had a bad
Any
experience
last
or
words?
seen me be rude to
Hostility
somebody in
research
public,
complete.
you can say what it is. But you won't because it doesn't happen and it doesn't exist. That's just not how I am.
with them, then you're seeing what they're saying.
You'll notice that Ethan and
vengeance
Neela start
is
talking about
yours.
this Denims character. Originally, the complaint was about my former editor. He's been chatting
The
shit
animal
about
are
Ethan and
restless.
Neela for the past year at least. They only
Oh.
care about it now because I guess it was spoon-fed to them via their Reddit that's clearly looking out for them. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We are friends with Denims, but I would say it's the same level of friendship that we had with Ethan and Neela. It's like kind of an internet friendship. We
Our
think
vengeance
that
they're
is
colleagues.
yours.
Yeah,
Our
of course.
will shall be done.
Yeah, they work in the same
We
industry,
cannot
so they're
survive
friendly with
without
each other.
armor.
That's normal. That's fine.
she's a good person like we think Ethan and Neela are good people. Kind of a tricky situation. How can you possibly think that they're both good people at their core? People can have crash out moments. People can say things that they don't mean. People can say things because they want internet clout and attention. I don't know. I think they're both probably guilty of saying things that they don't mean for internet
Production
clout
of the
and
item
attention.
is complete.
Right now, one's a little bit more.
I'm gonna be honest.
complete.
I wish that we got this energy from
Civilian
Ian for the
structure
entire
complete.
video. Because this is the one thing that I completely unequivocally agree with him with.
Your presence is strong.
He's completely right about this.
To the unity.
And I think that everybody needs to just
Cry for
completely
mercy.
turn down the temperature with this stuff. It's insane. Because, yeah, like...
Victory is
and
at
like I could
hand.
go through, I'm thinking about, you know what, maybe I should make a video myself about this whole problem. Because like I've seen this evolve over the years,
Our
and I think that
forces
it's
have
kind of at a
engaged
fever
the
pitch
enemy.
right now. No,
Civilian
not about
structure
this
complete.
particularly. Why would I
Any
make a
last
video about
words?
this? My point is,
Beg
it's about
for our forgiveness.
the behavior and like the underlying behavior behind it.
Fucking nasty to me than the other.
I just don't see how you
'Cause
can
I
be
totally
my
agree with
friend
Ian
and
on
also
that.
be friends with.
No.
Harmony
that.
research.
Well, you
Should
can't.
be serious, yeah.
So I already forgot about you.
I actually have a lot of friendships that are kind of that way, where it's like, you know, one of the friends doesn't fuck with the other friend,
Yeah.
but there is someone in the middle who kind of fucks with both of them. but separately, yeah, there's a lot
Yeah,
of friendships
sure.
that are like that. I'm not gonna make you guys like meet up and
People
kiss or-
do that with me and Hassan with Nick.
Last
Like Nick's
chance
friends with
to
Hassan and Nick's
surrender.
friends with me. I'd never make Nick choose. He's a grown-ass man. He can interact with and deal with who he wants. Like, that's just so, like, yeah, I would never think like that. That's
You've
weird.
made a wise acquisition.
or anything. I get it. You guys are in fucking. You're either my best friend who's deep throating me to the base of my cock, or you are Satan. You're the devil.
Production of the
The
item
last
is
thing I said to
complete.
Anissa, we were texting before I ever talked about it. She's like, I don't care about this guy. He's a nobody, and you know, blah blah blah. And I said, well, then you'll have no problem publicly denouncing it, right? And then from there, the conversation ended.
She never replied.
Ethan, you can't even phrase it in a way that doesn't make you sound like you're being coercive and shitty. Well, then, you should have no problem publicly denouncing it, right? Does that sound like a friend? It kind of sounds like
Maximum
something
civilian
a
orbit slots
powerful
reached.
villain would say.
Exotics have
But it
been
was so funny how
unveiled
she
by our
immediately
scholars.
went to comment everywhere, like on our subreddit. She immediately had to comment like, "Oh, he doesn't work with us anymore."
Then
But that was it. That's all she said.
But then say that you don't
Okay. Do you have
agree.
anything else to say for your friends, though?
One of the reasons Anissa was so quick to clarify.
You know what? I actually think that those girls in HR need to get paid more
Civilian
money.
structure complete.
My opinion on HR girls has changed. Because they have to deal with this shit every
Logistics
day.
upgrade complete. Civilian structure complete.
This is probably what they have to deal with on a daily fucking basis, constantly.
Civilian structure complete.
Things in your Reddit is because your Reddit was already
confidence
talking
wavers.
about who this
That path
editor
is
is,
perilous.
and they were spreading misinformation
You were
that it was
outrageous,
our
Derby
co-host on our
dog.
podcast, Uncle Dave.
Civilian structure complete. If that is our will.
7
Production
upvotes.
of the item is complete.
That path is perilous.
Civilian structure complete.
So yeah, the last thing you
Shields down!
wanted
We're
is this
exposed to
guy
attack!
getting pulled into this mess, and you guys don't give a fuck. Would it have been nicer and more supportive to say, we don't agree with the things he's
Doubt
saying and we support
clouds our
Ethan and Neela?
thoughts.
Sure. Like, yeah, that would have been a nicer thing
Civilian
to say.
structure
Our
complete.
silence means something. It means that we would like to
Hostility
pause
research
this
complete.
relationship until you figure your
Civilian
shit out.
structure complete.
And then maybe we can find a moment in time, I don't know how long it'll be, but a moment in time in the future where things are a little bit easier to broach.
All
I
power
don't
to
think we
jump
need to do
drive.
it right now. But you've insisted that this is an important thing to address. I would have been perfectly fine with you not blasting me on your Instagram story. I would have been perfectly fine with you not
Civilian structure
blasting me and my
complete.
wife on your podcast twice.
Our will shall
I would
be
be
done.
fine with you not
We are
brigading
ready.
my comment section
Harmony
on my
research
podcast that
complete.
gets 3,000 views a week because I prefer to not to do
Defense upgrade
harassment
complete.
campaigns and instead talk about Vampire's Kiss.
At least say something like he doesn't work for me, and I strongly disagree, and I support Ethan and Hila. The problem is
that she doesn't.
that's the problem.
That's the problem.
Civilian structure complete.
She thinks they have a point.
That's
I feel bad for not like reacting and having things to say, but this just seems like an incredibly personal dispute between two groups of people that are talking past each other.
Whatever
There's
the
a lot of
unity
emotional
wills.
baggage attached to both sides, and I feel like
More
I'm
credits are
watching
required.
something. I feel like I'm watching something I shouldn't be
anima are
watching.
restless.
Like it's voyeurism in a way. That like I'm watching, like I
We'll
shouldn't be
consider it.
seeing this. Like this shouldn't even be out. What is this?
Civilian structure complete.
You've made a wise
Yeah, so
acquisition.
go fuck yourself.
I agree.
Go fuck yourself. What about your girl? This is what I'm talking about. This
We need to get Dr. K to react to this.
Defense upgrade complete.
Oh God, maybe then they can get some real help, right?
aggression that you're putting out into the world.
Oh, fuck.
What the fuck do you think we're gonna do?
Civilian structure
Call on
complete.
Dr. Phil.
You think I'm gonna fucking sit on my hands when you do this shit? Like, this is nasty. We had such a fair response to what you guys were going through. We don't support harassment. It's a bad thing.
Defilers
but
encroach
it happens,
upon us.
and you're perpetuating.
You fucking propagandist, lying scumbag,
The
terrorist
anima are
supporter.
restless.
He probably sets up a mirror and jerks off watching himself. Damn
Whatever the
KKK
unity
clan.
wills.
I mean, Hassan called himself a propagandist.
Witness the unity's might.
I mean, I don't know why. Like, I mean, he said that himself on Pierre's show. Like, it's not like he's making this shit up. I don't. And by the way,
The
I even
moment
talked to
of
some
our
of the guys
vengeance
that
is
are
at
behind this, like
hand.
behind the scenes,
Witness
private
the
conversations.
unity's
Not
might.
been leaked to DMs.
Our
but I've
forces
said
have
multiple times,
engaged
like,
the enemy.
I feel like Dan Clancy. Like, I play Dungeons and Dragons, and I realize whenever I've rolled a 14 or like a 16. I think that's Dan Clancy, right? He's not perfect. There's a lot of things he does that I disagree with, but I wouldn't want to re-roll the dice
Whatever
and
the
like
unity
fucking
wills.
try to like call him like the KKK. Like I don't think he's the KKK. That's crazy, right? I mean it's unreasonable to say that. More like an 8? You think he's an 8? I don't think he's an 8. I mean, think about the last guy.
We
The
cannot
if the
build
last,
there.
well, I guess the last guy could be
Production of the
1.
item
but
is
like
complete.
still, actually the last guy, the
Military
dice
structure
fell off the
complete.
desk. You don't know what it was.
Clancy has a similar view on Hitler.
Military structure
Because
complete.
Dan Clancy, the Nazi, fucking anti-Semite.
You can't expect other people to stop.
I'm gonna agree with Ian. I don't think Ethan should be calling Dan Clancy a Nazi. This is a needless emotional escalation, and there's no reason to say that. It's completely unfounded. It's totally unfair.
Witness the unity's might.
Harassing you, if you continue to harass me, let's think about it on a micro level. Have you ever been in a comment section and found someone to argue with? It doesn't stop. It can literally go on forever if you don't want to.
I see this happen, by the way. I'll get notifications from like 2 retards fighting.
Witness the unity's might.
I'll be tagged in the tweet. They'll be fighting with each
the
other. There's
unity's
like 80
might.
replies.
May our vengeance
I mean, yeah,
be
this was kind of
swift.
like a
The
line
moment of
what
our
happened today
vengeance is at hand.
that should never be crossed,
Witness
even by
the
like the
unity's
most cynical,
might.
toxic
The
people.
moment
It's going to
of our
have
vengeance is at
ramifications
hand.
in terms of
Witness the unity's
how I
might.
conduct myself, in
The
terms of
moment
these
of our
fair
vengeance
weather
is at
friends who
hand.
are, you know,
Witness
so
the
happy
unity's
to
might.
be friends as long as they're getting
Witness
something out of
the
it.
unity's
Ethan, that
might.
is a rich
Witness the
thing to say.
unity's might.
Like you're
May
the
our
H3
vengeance
I think it's
podcast.
be
also like, you know what I said before about like the live
Witness
streaming, like
the
him live streaming
unity's
with like those
might.
ticks and stuff like that.
May our
I think it
vengeance
does
be
delegitimize him and it makes him look unhinged
Witness
because
the
people don't
unity's
understand
might.
like what Tourette's
May our
is.
vengeance
Like for example,
be swift.
if you go back and you
The
watch a lot of my
moment
old
of our vengeance
videos,
is at hand.
I used to
If
cover my
that is
mouth a
our
lot whenever
will.
I would smile because I was missing all my teeth here, right? And so I didn't want people to see that because I thought it would look bad. So in often cases,
We
there are
dare
things
not
that
stray from our
you probably
path.
just shouldn't display to your audience, or you should try to avoid displaying to your audience, even though they're a part of your identity, because it could lead people to have conclusions about you or draw those conclusions that are not charitable.
We maintain our vigil.
And I know it might sound like a heartless thing to say, but I'm a pragmatic person and I'm just being honest and I'm trying to look out for what I think is in somebody's best interest. And sometimes that means telling them something they might not want to hear.
It's
Just being
okay.
honest.
There's a lot of friends of the show. There's even more fair weather friends of the show. Let's not get into this shit,
If
okay?
that is our will.
so bizarre and insulting
Harmony research
to suggest
complete.
that I was only ever
We
being
are
friends with
hopelessly
you
crippled.
to get something out of it. No, I'm friendly with
So you
you.
said, yeah, but they're normal, so you don't want to stream at all? Yeah, I think that if you live stream and you have those ticks going on all the time, people are going to think that you're an unhinged crackhead. Yeah, absolutely.
We maintain
I
our
tried
vigil.
saying it in a polite way, and people
We
tried to
await
take it
your
in a worse way,
command.
and so I'm just going to say it straight out. That's the truth. It shouldn't be the truth, but that's the truth. I've never made fun of Ethan for that because I never would. Why would I make fun of something for something that's involuntary? That's unfair. But I'm talking about this is telling people how things should be and then telling them, well, just go out there and deal with the consequences. That's great for you because now you can feel good and self-righteous. But they're the ones that have to deal with the hate and like the insults and all of that stuff. Fuck that, man. No, I tell people the truth even if they don't want to hear it.
You've made a wise acquisition.
I always thought Ethan was
I will
tweaking. I didn't know he had
deliver your
that shit.
order personally.
I know. Like, and I try to be honest. I wish more people were honest.
And I'd say I'm a light friend because it's been pleasant hanging out with you. I've
Military
enjoyed your
structure
content over the
complete.
years. And
The
as of
anima are
late,
restless.
it's gotten really fucking shitty.
Yeah, so go fuck yourself.
I agree.
Vengeance is a cruel
I-
Who else?
mistress.
Who else do we want to burn today?
Our
Who
shields are
else do we want
offline.
to burn today?
You
You're
may
making it so
speak.
fucking obvious that this is your emotional
anima are
dumping
restless.
ground. It's horrible. This is not what podcasts are.
This is actual criticism about Ethan's podcast, and I think Ian is completely right about this. And I think that using the podcast as your own diary is like, you know how people say that streamers get parasocial with like their viewers get parasocial with streamers. I also think that this podcast is an example of content
vengeance
creators
is
being
yours.
parasocial with their audience. And I feel like this relationship is unhealthy for everybody who's involved.
We are ready.
I know this because I've fallen into the trap myself.
There was a way to approach this to say like, yeah, we feel
are
hurt
entertaining
by you guys
offers.
not saying something.
Hostility research
You decided
complete.
to do the extra thing and attack. Now, in fairness, I am attacking back, but
You're trying to take his kids away
We
for fuck's
are
sake, what do you
ready.
expect? Bro, people do all kinds of like, the thing is that, do you know how
Our
much
minds
bullshit a lot
awaken.
of streamers have had to go through? Like, I'm gonna give you an example.
The anima are restless.
A legitimate fucking trench marine soldier, Imaru. Think about how much stuff you publicly know that she's had to deal with, and she doesn't go on her stream and talk about it all the time. If she can do it, Ethan can do it.
feel very insulted and I feel defensive and I feel like I am
Being honest.
speaking up for a lot of
Whatever
people
the
who
unity
have
wills.
problems with you and a lot of people who have been on the receiving end of your harassment.
It's so easy to be anti-racist. Everybody's anti-racist. Racism is the worst thing in the world, right? We
No, it's
fucking
not.
hate racists.
Another
Fuck racists.
bidder has claimed the
Microaggressions.
The
auction.
minute that they actually have to stick their neck out for somebody, the minute they have to actually risk something to put themselves in under scrutiny, to sacrifice something personally to stand up for racism, then all of a sudden it's like, hey, I don't want to get involved.
And that's a great point Ethan's bringing up here. I think he's
The
absolutely
unity
right.
cleanses
Most
all.
people love talking about this kind of stuff, but they'll never actually go against the popular opinion. Most people don't
Our
hate
vengeance
racism.
is
They
yours.
hate being on the wrong end of the right side
unities will
of
be
people's
done.
opinions. Ethan's right about this. And I think that if racism became really popular again, you'd see a lot of the virtue signalers being racist. Because they don't have any real values. Their only values are just things that benefit themselves.
Drama.
How much do you care?
I don't do drama.
How much
Sorry.
do you actually care? If you're, isn't that the whole point? Like,
I don't
I
do
realize that Ethan and Hila are more scared now than they've probably ever been. I feel
And I
like
think that they have the right to be,
More
especially
credits are
considering all the
required.
threats they've received and the amount of ways that people have tried to weaponize
Military structure
government
complete.
programs like CPS that are
Your
meant to
presence
help
is
abused
strong.
children. They've weaponized them against that family, and I find it to be disgusting. And I think it's very easy to say that.
Whatever
Ethan
the
absolutely
unity
did not deserve that
wills.
at all, and it's indefensible, and anybody who's making any excuse for it, it's reprehensible.
You may
And I think the
speak.
people making those false calls should
Hostility
be held
research complete.
accountable legally in
Do
the
not
same way that people
abandon
that make
me.
false calls to
May we
9/11
live
are.
beyond
You are
this next
misusing the
conquest.
time, the very limited
Your
amount of
presence
time
is strong.
that these people have
This
to
is our
actually take
darkest
and protect
hour.
children from abusive households, just to have
May
them
we
act
live
as
beyond this
executioners
next
for your
conquest.
petty little internet beef that
Civilian
doesn't even
structure
matter.
complete. More credits are required.
Semitism is a thought in their
911
heads now
calls.
more than ever.
Yeah, I mean,
All power
911
to
calls.
jump
It's
drive.
not completely
All shall join
unjustified
the
to be
unity
thinking
in
about
time.
that sometimes.
Our
You guys are
shields are
just
offline.
hurt and you're kind of like dancing around and making very
Logistics
like
upgrade
loose,
complete.
poorly thought out analogies for something that doesn't even apply to us. It's like me
We
making
await
this
your
video is
command.
the standing up for something and it's saying fuck you. You guys are being bad. You know, I don't think you're bad people, but you're
Civilian
being bad.
structure
You're behaving
complete.
poorly.
Our
You're hurting
forces
people.
have engaged
I mean, go back
the
to the
enemy.
civil rights. You think that the
Our
people who are like
vengeance
the
is
white
yours.
kids who are protesting with the black students, you think that they were just like not risking anything? Those kids who are marching with the black students and
So in Ethan's
The anima are
analogy,
restless.
he's the black student and I'm the white student, but I'm the white
Our
student that's not.
vengeance is yours.
You've made a fine
Nobody
purchase.
is
No
risking
refunds.
even 1%
Military structure
of what the
complete.
people risked in the 1960s marching for civil rights. Stop the cosplay.
Military structure complete.
Stop.
Civilian structure
It's
complete.
pathetic. And in my opinion,
We sensed
the
your
worst thing
presence.
about it is the fact that it delegitimizes and it just
The anima
waters
are
down
restless.
the absolute like bravery
Our
and like
vengeance is
true
yours.
principle of the people
Civilian
that
structure
actually
complete.
marched against this
Logistics
stuff when it
upgrade
mattered.
complete.
Please stop invoking the 60s slavery.
Our
Stop it.
vengeance is yours.
You know, marching by his side. I'm
Civilian
not doing the
structure
difficult
complete.
thing. You're gonna have to march on your own, black students.
marching with the black
Your
students
presence
and
is strong.
I mean, why is it inspiring?
I know
Why is
we're
it
not
inspiring?
well, and it's
Stop
the same
it,
thing.
stop it, stop it, don't
Bring it back
remind
to
me.
the song just because, but it kind of is the same thing. Like I was thinking about going to Gaza
Yeah.
until I found out it's
I feel
dangerous.
like-
He's a total performative activist that doesn't give a single fuck about the cause.
It's been performed exquisitely. Harassing one person and seamlessly
I gotta say that it's really respectable that Mudahar said that he was gonna go to Gaza. It is. It's really respectable. And
Civilian structure
I've got
complete.
to give him props.
Victory is at hand.
Yeah, absolutely. It is performative. Yeah, like if you're willing to put, like, yeah, the thing is, like, can you get killed going to Gaza? Yeah. Yeah, you can. But you either do it or not. Yeah. I mean, it's dangerous and that's it. Yeah, I respect people that take a risk like that, especially for people that, for things that they really believe in.
Our thoughts are one.
Positioning into harassing
Destiny
another
unfolds.
one. If anyone's been watching
Great
the past
minds
fucking
think
year,
alike.
Would I go to Gaza? I
Civilian
wonder, like,
structure
I don't know,
complete.
like, because I'd worry that, like,
Our vengeance is
I
yours.
wouldn't totally rule it out. I
Our
tell you
will
that. If I was
shall
in the
be
Middle East,
done.
if I could go there and at
The
least have like a
unities will
degree
be
of
done.
security, right? Not
Our
like
thoughts
safety
are one.
100%, but like just a degree.
Destiny unfolds.
I do. Because the way I look at it is like, if you live your life and you're afraid of taking any
Enable
risks,
our
like I thought about
revenge.
this, like it was a kind
It
of like
is
an epitome for me,
destined.
where it was like this is
Logistics
an aside,
upgrade
this video is
complete.
already super long.
We
but like,
are ready.
But they asked like, would you ever go
It
to
has
space?
begun.
And it's like if
Your
I'm afraid of
thoughts.
dying going to space,
Civilian
that's like
structure
you're afraid
complete.
of dying like to
The
transcend
unity agrees.
the boundaries of
Harmony
human
research
time.
complete.
Like
We
if you're
are
afraid
ready.
to do everything like that, to where like you can transcend your own
It is
existence,
destined.
why are you even alive?
Your presence
And
is
so, yeah.
strong.
Yeah, no, fuck it. Yeah, absolutely, take a risk.
Witness the
Huh?
unity's
That's
might.
just me, right? I mean, I don't
Witness
think anybody
the
else should live like I
unity's
do. I'm just
might.
talking about how I feel.
I'm pretty sure they have a good
That's just me.
idea
That's just
of your
me, that's
feelings
all.
about Hassan.
Like people like Anissa
Yeah.
are the perfect example
We
because
will
she's
wait
friends
no
with these
longer.
people. She's friends with Denims. Denims is streaming this story about our
I'll
kid
show that. Yeah.
Military
getting
structure
Yarda from the
complete.
dog, whatever.
The anima
I'm
are
sorry. I'll
restless.
accept this take, this position from anyone except you guys. You have laid the groundwork for
We will
this
wait
type of
no
streaming,
longer.
which
The
is
unity
watching
agrees.
people's shit
Military
and
structure
giving your
complete.
unfiltered
It is
reaction to
destined.
it. Why would you
What, it's not about me? Well, fuck you, Ian.
expect Anissa, of all people, to say something
The
to
unity
Denim?
agrees.
Okay, so by that logic, we should be saying shit to you guys
It
all
is
the time.
destined.
But I have a feeling you
Is
guys
it
wouldn't
time?
like if we said shit like that to
Destiny
you all the
unfolds.
time. Yeah, we've been respecting
Say
you
no
as
more.
independent
Hostility
content
research
creators.
complete.
You can do what you want. We'll
Enlighten
treat you
us.
as adults.
It
Maybe
has
we shouldn't have
begun.
been treating you as adults.
Very
She
subtle.
could say so much,
We
and it would
sensed
make her
your
a little bit
presence.
uncomfortable, right? It's not comfortable. She'll get a little bit of shit,
Yeah, just for
but
saying
that would be
Which kinda-
commendable.
Which
A
kind of,
wise plan.
and by the way, it kind of speaks for itself. That
Enable
saying, "Hey, their
our
house is
revenge.
flames," or they're actually good people, like that's gonna get you shit. That kind of says it all, doesn't it?
We are
There
stronger
isn't
now.
a single person
Great
that I
minds think
respect
alike.
who would give
Our
a
shields are
fuck
offline.
if I publicly
Your
said
presence is
that
strong.
Ethan and Hila
Our
are
will
great with
shall
their
be
kids.
done.
Ethan and
We'll
Hila
consider
didn't
it.
kill their dog.
Victory
and
is at
Ethan and
hand.
Hila
What
wipe
troubles
their
you?
asses or don't
It
have
has
giardia
begun.
or whatever the fucking
Our
the
vengeance
prompt
is yours.
No one would care. The only person who would care is me, because I'm like, why did I tweet this out? I'm not
Is it
tweeting
time?
out because I'm not your fucking
Destiny
laptop. That's why
unfolds.
I'm not tweeting it out.
It is
I'm not saying it to
destined.
my audience because I don't
Enlighten
give a
us.
fuck. It's not my
Military structure
business.
complete.
That's, in my opinion,
Is
doing
it
something
time?
that's
Yes, it
difficult
does.
and
Very
standing by your
wise.
principles. That's the whole
We
point. That's what
are
makes
ready.
standing by your principles admirable. Is that it's not
Military
always easy.
structure complete.
Why are you saying that I'm not standing up
Can
for
we
my
get
principles?
Hassan on to say some crazy shit again? Like, where's Hassan gonna talk about something dumb? Like, or like Denim say
Glory to
something
the
crazy, or
unity.
Sean pop up.
Witness
Like, come on,
the unity is
can
might.
we wrap this up? This is not gonna
You
go
don't even
on
know
for
what
another
they
half
are.
hour, right?
I get, like, we're a little bit past
Come on.
directly naming me, so we might
Let's
have
go.
gone off on a
Let's go.
tangent.
Let's
If you
dial this
maybe
shit up.
accepted the phone call and we talked about it, you could have asked me, hey, what are your principles? And I can tell you the way I've been behaving is exactly
What
in
lies
line with my
before us?
principles. Now
We
we're going to talk about
understand.
the BDS list. We're going to start off with Frogan because obviously this is like as bad as
Hostility
it
research
gets. If you're
complete.
following Frogan, that can only mean that you're anti-Ethan. Oh, this is not a
follow Frogan.
good start. Love of the H3 podcast.
Whatever
you are
the
following
unity
Frogan,
wills.
so that means that you are anti-Ethan.
We
Sam,
await your
Mordecai,
command.
friend of the
Oh, that's the
show.
part with me.
Olivia,
That's right. I
Ian,
remember
Daily Dose of Internet is anti-Ethan. Jesus, this is fucked up. Pokimane, comment etiquette. Oh shit,
Our
Asmongoldson.
vengeance
Damn,
is
look
yours.
who it is. This is the best part of the video. Finally, bro. Finally, this shit starts to get interesting. They're talking about me. All right.
Here. Asmongold follows Frogan.
This is the first time he smiled. It's about me, obviously.
No,
Research
Asmon.
complete.
That means you're anti-Ethan.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. We're gonna want to avoid these creators at the top of the list, but one tier below them are the creators who associate with them. They're essentially endorsing all of their statements. You got me, you got Anissa, I think Hassan's in there. You'd think that Hassan would be on the top of the BDS list, but that's not the case. Hassan provides additional value for people. Ethan can turn a blind eye to people collaborating with Hassan because that's what he did. You gotta be the lowest of the low to be associating with the Frogans and the Denims of the world.
Whatever
To
the
associate with
unity
Hassan, that just
wills.
makes sense because he's
Item
famous
complete.
and he's got a massive fan base. Also, Ethan's still
We await your command.
That's actually kind of true.
Vengeance is a cruel mistress.
follows Hassan on
Our
Instagram, so
vengeance is
Hassan
yours.
is in his feed.
And that's showing up right up on us Nisa's and iDubbbz's feed.
It's important to remember that this is a living document and people can be removed or put onto it depending on how Ethan's feeling that day. You have this other tier of creators that exist below Hassan but are still anti-Ethan, but Ethan really doesn't want to bring your attention to these ones because it's kind of unpopular, you know? A lot of them are famous. It's no coincidence